everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Unusual Suspects. Guys, we have a fantastic banger, late-breaking stories. We have so much to talk about today. We actually have a special guest who's a very unusual suspect. We're going to talk to him in a second. But before we go there, I want to introduce everybody really fast. Taylor is in the casa. We have Brandon in the house. Rob G is here. Connor's here. Guys, I'm really excited. I'm going to go down all the stories really, really fast. And then I want to get right into it. We're going to talk to our special guest, but I'll save that for a minute. Brandon is going to talk about the WHO pandemic treaty that's coming up at the end of this month. I guess
there's a dedeadline coming up. They've been rewriting it and stuff.
They're rewriting it. There goes our freedoms. Taylor, Queer Earth. So apparently animals are becoming...
Yes,
okay.
You didn't know.
I don't know. I had no idea. Connor, ex-Marine, he wanted to kill white people?
He had a plan to commit a mass shooting, but the media is not talking about it, and I think there might be more to the story on this one.
Well, that's fantastic. And Rob G, late-breaking P. Diddy. A video came out. He didn't show it to nobody's seen it, right? Nobody's seen it yet?
Have not.
Rob's going to show this video. I guess it's hard to watch, but guess what? We got to watch it. But that being said, guys, if you haven't downloaded Manek, and I saw somebody in the chat, they're like, why do you keep talking about Manek? Because it's banging. It's the fastest growing app, entrepreneur app on the market. If you want to Manek with anybody, professionals, guys, I get 1,000 messages on Instagram. I'm not responding. I can't do it. If you want to holler at me, you want to ask questions, you want to engage, go to Manek. That's my QR code right there. Who else do we have? Rob G, who's obviously dating Vivek Ramaswamy because he's still in his profile picture.
We're lovers.
If you want to talk about anything with Robert, we're producing, with writing, with comedy. Rob's your guy, fatherhood, you name it. Connor's there, writing, philosophy. What else, Connor?
Also, story tips. I just got my first Manek the other day. People giving us tips for the website.
Get on there. Talk to Connor. Taylor's on there. Business, entrepreneurs, God, writing, standing at the beach in the half lotus position. She can teach you how to do it. And Brandon, if you want to listen, Brandon is a freaking whiz with economy, with the country, with history. He's a future president of the United States. If you want to holler at him, and my love, Kelly Ann Arnold. She's great. Anything behind the scenes, in front of the camera, writing, thumbnails, you name it about YouTube or producing, she's the girl. And we have a competition, guys. It's not too late. Download the app and get involved right now for a dinner with Patrick McDavid here in the Cigar Lounge where the Unusual shoots. It's going to be a banger. Okay. Let's get right into it. So, I showed a video. I know you guys have seen this a little about a month ago of a U.S. soldier, United States Air Force soldier. He was getting jumped at his jail cell. Do you guys remember that? It was a cell extraction by a bunch of military police. Do you guys remember?
Yeah.
Why? Don't say that word, the magic word. He didn't want to get the jizzab. That's what I call it.
The cookie.
Yeah. And Kelly, can you show the video just really fast?
Take your blanket off. Go through the wet.
So who's going for the legs?
Are you choosing to be non-compliant?
You get one leg.
Are you choosing to be non-compliant?
Oh, look at him getting ready to go whoop his ass. Look at this. Are you choosing to be non-compliant? Look at this. 8 guys, 1 airman. Look at this shit, bro. Look at him choking him out, grabbing his legs.
Stop resisting.
Where's the handcuff? I need a handcuff right now.
Get his arm. I got it.
Look at this shit. Boom. Arm. Look at it. Twisting his shoulder, grabbing his arm. Look at that.
I'm going for his left arm.
Okay?
Stop resisting.
Yeah, stop resisting. Look at they're choking him out. Dude, how horrible is that shit? Okay. All right, Kelly, that's enough. That's enough. So we posted this when it came out. We posted the clip, and you should see how many messages how many comments of, yo, this is fake. It's a training exercise. You know, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? It is real, and we found the guy, the soldier, the airman that was involved. His name is Lance Castle, and he's here with us live via Zoom. Lance, what's up, brother?
Hey, man, thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, dude, don't mention it. Lance, can you do me a favor, bro? You know, take a minute, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, what happened, and then we'll get into the aftermath after.
Of course, yeah. My name is Lance Castle. Today is my 19th mark in the Air Force, 19, which is pretty awesome that I get to share that anniversary with you guys. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I joined the Air Force, man, to try to help out, I guess, and try to fight for freedom. The blanket answer on that, but all the stuff that I've seen throughout my years, especially now, and all the constant messages that I'm getting from other people who are veterans themselves, or they separated, they're retired. There's so many illegal crimes that have happened on that they don't want to come out for towards. So like I'm just saying, it's just not me, man. It's not me at all here. There's so much other action of this happening to other people.
So Lance, what happened? I know you got arrested. They set up a meeting for you. You got arrested because you weren't getting the jab. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
So you said I'm not. So you're not getting the jab, and then you drove on base, and they basically set you up, and they arrested you, and then and what do we see? What do we just see in the video? What led up to that?
Yeah. So real fast, though, the August 2021. That's when the whole mandate came out, obviously, from the SecDef, Lloyd Austin and whatnot. The meeting to get the jab was throughout that time. And then you fast forward to that cell extraction, which was April 10th of last year. So that range right there, there's so much deceitful stuff happening, obviously leading up to that. It wasn't just you didn't get vaxxed the next day you're in a jail cell, right? Like a lot of people have asked me. So that it's over a year and a half from that incident of not getting vaxxed. But to answer your question, what happened there? So that was day 2. Okay, that was day 2 of my my confinement. Excuse me. So I don't mean I could start anywhere. That's the thing. So this whole thing is now 2 years and 9 months, and I'm just getting more and more speechless because, like I said, I could start this story anywhere within that timeline. So so I'll start here. That was day 2 of my confinement out of 66. So the day prior, I was arrested for going to my TTM on base that my commander scheduled me for. And your TTM is that's a meeting between you, the doctors, and everybody about your situation, about you not getting vaxxed? No. So the TTM was specifically about the symptoms from the distress that I've experienced from not getting vaxxed. Oh, got you. Regressed. Yeah. Got you. So it's all related to, and a lot of people don't believe that it was literally from vax, but there's a document in my PIF that they accidentally left in, and it states, and it's top of my head, it states that we view him as an insider threat in the wake of his refusal to see the COVID vaccine. And ironically enough, January 2023 is when the SecDef had to rescind his mandate from the Supreme Court. So they draft a new memo to take place of that one, but they leave that one in there. There's no way they left that on purpose. So when I say they accidentally left it in there, there's no, like I said, they could have left it on purpose, but then if they did, then I found it, obviously, and this is why I'm coming after them legally. So they had to remove COVID, the word COVID, any COVID verbiage from any member's PIF. That's if it's disciplinary. And since that was an order from the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of the Air Force, Frank Kendall, like I said, they had to draft a new memorandum stating why I'm an insider threat. And they also said I'm radicalized towards a anti-U.S. government group. And they even ostracized me on paper, saying that they ordered the squadron or the flight to not talk to me, engage with me, interact with me, and under no circumstance go to my house. So they removed all that from document 1, drafted a new one, put that new one in there, and which I had to acknowledge. But like I said, they left that previous one in there, which shows their intent, which was revealed in court. Like I'm saying, this thing is so egregious. So Lance, so you're not vaccinated. Right. No. Hey. So okay. So you're a pureblood. You fought it. So Lance, it came down. Is it mandated by the United States military that you have to be vaccinated to be in the military back then? Yes. Okay. Is that still in place? Because I know for a fact that a bunch of people left, a bunch of people they kicked out. And then they tried to get those people to come back in. So in your case, they said, get it. You said no. They labeled you an enemy, basically, of the people. They said that you were an insider threat. So they arrest you. They put you in that cell. And then they come in there to try to extract you. What happened? Because we just saw the video. It looked like, how many guys was that? Was that 8 people? I think it was 6. 6. Okay. They manhandled you. What injuries did you receive from that? Yeah, thank you for asking me that. So that post that Mark Bosch posted on X with my permission, he didn't state that my shoulder was actually torn in 2 at the rotator cuff, and I received an MCL tear in my knee. I already had a prior MCL tear from running an incident a year ago before that, but when they did surgery on my knee, a couple months ago, they found another MCL tear. So I had two MCL tears. One was from that cell extraction. Obviously, it had to have been from that. And I was complaining of knee pain throughout the time. But my shoulder, like I love CrossFit and I used to do CrossFit a lot and compete. When I started, my shoulder pain was getting worse, worse, and worse. And I finally got an MRI on that. And in my records, it shows that I was talking to the doctor about my shoulder hurts, which he prescribed me ibuprofen like they all do. But it was from that. Like I've never had any shoulder pain prior to that. So to answer your question,
and Lance, just as because I was in the United States Air Force, I got out. I got out right after 9/11. They made me stay in for stop loss. Bush Jr. Thank you for that. I got a really, really sour taste in my mouth, and I saw that once I wanted to get out, they really turned on me, bro. They tried to put me under investigation. He's smoking marijuana, mind you, never smoked weed ever till I got out. He's smoking weed. He's on steroids. He's on this and that. The military turns on you when you want to get out or something like that happens. How did that make you feel, knowing, Lance, that you just were like, listen, this is my body, this is my choice, I don't want to put this thing inside me, and then they all turned on you from the top to the bottom? How'd that make you feel?
Disgusted, really disgusted, man. And I've had so many decisions where I could have just forgot it and move on. Like everyone wants me to, including my lawyer or one of them. But there's no way you can move on from that, especially with it depends on what personality type you are. If you're the one who wants to fight to the end and even dying as a consequence to you fighting the deep state, D.O.D. government, then it's all personality dependent. But it made me feel disgusted. On the other hand, though, it does make me feel motivated every day to attack my case, listen to the audio recordings, go through all my, like that binder in the back right there is from 2023 alone, to go through all my court documents, and just piece together constantly, still to this day, it's still ongoing, 2 years and 9 months.
Jeez.
As of right now, all of this retaliatory behavior, and it's getting worse. I've been emailing generals at this point, the AFSOC commander. I've emailed him, I think, 5 times now, personally to him, and I CC them, all my leadership in my squadron, and he did respond once to my first email, but other than that, he stopped responding. The installation commander, I really don't know how much I can say right now.
Yeah.
As long as it's truthful, I don't see.
Yeah, but I don't want you to get in trouble, Lance. But so you were in for so you're not in anymore. They kicked you out, correct?
No, I'm in.
Oh, you're still in. Now how long have you been in?
19 years today.
Okay, 19 years. So wow, so you're in a weird position right now that now they're trying to tell people, listen, we don't care that you're vaxxed. You could still come in, correct?
Yeah.
Wow, dude, what a complete crap show. Now, I don't know if you saw this or not. We just found out yesterday actually, because Dr. Fauci was in front of Congress for God knows how many times saying we did not perform gain of function research at the Wuhan lab of virology. And then somebody yesterday from the NIH goes, yes, we actually did. So all of it, to me, this is just me, bro. I think it was a military tactic from China, which, dude, think about this. If you want to weaken our military, besides TikTok and all the shit that they're doing, why not release a virus that the military is going to make it mandatory? And I have a whole section I'm going to get into after that. But Lance, back to the UN confinement, 66 days. I read something that you have a medication that they didn't keep from you. They knew that you had migraines, so they kept the lights on the entire time. You had to have a blanket over your face to keep it from the light. And then they were throwing food on the floor to feed you. Like what kind of third world Guantanamo Bay shit was that? How were they treating you in there?
Yeah, I'll correct those real fast. So the light was not kept on after the 17th day. My doctor finally recommended the lights to be turned off, and upon my wishes, I guess. But I was diagnosed with a migraine headache, or I get migraines 6 months before that too. So that was mostly for that. So they didn't keep the lights on throughout the entire 66 times or days, which was good. And the food on the floor, they weren't throwing it on the floor. He handed me my food in the morning. Nicely, I'll give him that. I ate it on my bed, and then he told me, "Get off your bed, eat your food on the floor." And this is a 21-year-old kid at the time, and I'm 37 right now, 36 back then. Like, who does this kid even think he is to tell me that? The fact that it's pre-trial confinement, I'm not convicted of any charges as of right now. And then them to treat you like you're guilty, man, it was just provoking me into just I would never comply with anything, even taking a blanket over my head to shield the light from my eyes. You know, like, yeah, I don't know.
So Lance, are you going to, and if you guys have a question, you guys can ask Lance. What's your like? Are you going to work every day right now? Or what are you doing?
No. So I got knee surgery February 1st, and I've been on convalescent leave for, I believe, like 9 weeks from that. And then I went back to work for a week. And throughout that week, I'm telling my new supervisor, man, like, I don't feel safe where I'm at. They moved me with like 6 to 7 times now within the last 3 years of this happening. Just new sections, new squadron, actually, and then another new section and a new flight. And it's constantly just switching me over and over and over when they could have just PCS me after I won my court martial, which they didn't. And I would believe it's due to retaliate against me due to them feeling some type of way that I beat them in all charges, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have Connor wants to ask you a question.
Yeah, Lance. So first of all, thank you very much for your service. We all appreciate that. I got to ask, because you said you were, confined for over 2 months. You had all these terrible things happen to you during that process. Obviously your military career has likely suffered because of it. After all that, was it worth it? Would you say that all this was worth it based on what you've seen with the jab after the fact?
Absolutely, yeah. Easy answer. Absolutely, yes. I believe that Jesus has put me in this position specifically because of my skill set, that I would rather die than comply. And I've told all of confinement that constantly. So the fact that I'm in this unique position right now, and I call it a leverage position because I beat all their 7 charges and specifications, which was all proven to be bogus, false, deceitful, misleading, and mostly all of exculpatory evidence that was revealed in court that I have all over my YouTube channel. It was absolutely worth it because I feel that I have massive purpose for this specifically, that I am able to hold these guys accountable, mostly from like people like you guys, man, that are letting me come on and share this story. I mean, obviously I couldn't do it without you guys and other podcasts that have had me on already, but the traction that it's gaining is significant.
Good.
And yeah. So to answer your question, 100%.
And Lance, I might have brushed over it, but so as of right now, to join the United States Air Force, do they make it mandatory to get vaxxed?
No.
It's not. They changed it, but yes, the damage has already been done. But go ahead, Brandon's gonna ask you a question.
Right.
Yeah, so thank you for your service, Lance. Question. So you've been in 19 years, you said. Have you noticed a cultural shift in the military sentiment as far as, do you think this type of thing would have happened when you first joined, or do you think that's a different type of person today that goes along with something like this?
No, so before I answer that, I forgot to say that these are my views and my views alone, right? And not the views of the Air Force and the D.O.D. But this is easily from the Biden administration, man. The fact that, man, like, I'm being careful real quick, but the fact that, all policies that are in place right now, like transgender, you're able to use taxpayers' money to get a transgender surgery and all that stuff in the military now. Like, what has happened? It was definitely not like that when I joined. And man, I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent.
No,
that's exactly what I'm interested in hearing.
Because we've seen it. We've seen the stories. We've seen the videos on TikTok where people join the military that have this mental disorder, and they're like, "I'm going to join the military. The military is going to pay for my transition surgery, and then I'm going to get out." I mean, that's using the military as a business, and then come to find out, we're weaker. We're the gayest we've ever been as a nation. Period. Facts. Nobody respects our leader. Nobody respects the military anymore. People are getting out at rates just from COVID. People, were kicked out and then left, and now they're begging people to come back in. It's not the same as it used to be when I was in, Lance. I'll tell you that. I mean, and you were in while I was in anyway.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree. There's a policy that was just released the other day, or a note from someone high up. That it was a worldwide email talking about the woke community and how. I don't know if you've seen it or you know what I'm talking about or referencing, but the fact that there's only 1% or maybe even 2% at this point that support that, or that are LBG, whatever, within the Air Force, but then the other 98% get this shoved down their throats, and if you don't support it, then they could easily say you're prejudiced towards them or discriminating towards them. It's obviously all a plan, man. It's all a plan from the Biden administration. And like we know what their true agenda is, and they've thought very carefully of how to do this and how to destroy the country from within. Not to mention all the illegal immigrants that are obviously within this country now, and all the people and all the I was gonna say terrorists, but all the
they're here too, Lance. Trust me, they're here already.
Yeah, for real.
They're already here.
All the stuff from the when they left Baghdad and whatnot, like they had to put all those people in military bases to like house them. So like who knows who's where? I don't know. It could be a planned attack. I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but all conspiracies are false until proven true, right? So,
yeah, they go from theories to actual conspiracies. But hey, listen, Lance. We appreciate you coming on, brother. Getting the word out. I mean, that video still. I've seen that video probably 20 times, and it pisses me off every time that a guy that is serving his country that doesn't want to put an experimental, because that's what the hell it was, drug in his body was treated the way that you were. Beaten up the way that he was, like treated like shit, not giving medication for days, up and down the chain of command, and then now they're bouncing you around everywhere because nobody wants to go near you. I think it's a disgrace, and I hope the people out there at home watching realize what the hell's happening with our military and how. I hope the right people hear this shit and it has to change because it's not right. But thank you so much, Lance. God bless you, brother. We'll pray for you, and we hope everything turns out right, brother.
Thank you so much, Vincent, and everyone else. I really appreciate you guys' time. Thank you.
Peace out.
Thank you, Lance.
Thank you.
So, on the same topic, I have a video that I'm going to have Kelly show you guys from a Navy medical officer. We might have showed it once before, but it's revealing the heart issues in relation to the funny juice. That's what I'm going to call it, guys. This guy did a 5-year average from fixed-wing pilots and helicopter pilots. The numbers are astounding. I'll let him say it. Not this one, Kelly. It's the other one.
So in July, Undersecretary Cisneros acknowledged the DMET data, the database working properly, and also acknowledged things such as myocarditis rising 151%. So what I did, I went in today.
151%.
I'm doing the same thing, 5-year average. However, I'm comparing it to 2022, and I only am using fixed-wing pilots and helicopter pilots.
Look at these numbers. Watch this.
Active duty. So we get hypertensive disease, 36%.
Up.
Ischemic heart disease, 69%. Pulmonary heart disease, 62%.
Jeez.
Heart failure, 973%.
What?
Other forms of heart disease, 63%. Cardiomyopathy, 152%.
Okay, guys, do you understand what I'm saying when I say that one can argue that COVID-19 was a military operation released by China? Because, by the way, I read in Alex Jones's book, The Great Awakening, that when the first they had the military games in China in 2019, where all the bases, all the soldiers were there, and they said that soldiers were getting sick and they were showing the symptoms of COVID-19 then. So if you think about it, the military, I touched on it with Lance, if they have to take it, it's mandatory. What a brilliant tactic, right, Brandon?
And no, that's not even the scariest part to me either. The scariest part too is that the people who are most likely to not take it are the people who would be most likely not to blindly comply with orders in the future. With so if they're willing to blindly comply with take this, then what if they say arrest people in the public who won't take it?
Yep.
So the people who are staying around are the people who are going to blindly follow orders. Same thing with the police.
Dude, it's wild. It's it's insane. Look what they did to this freaking poor guy. He's stuck, bro. He's in that room. Yeah, thank God he had surgery and he's doing better.
Yeah.
But I know what it's like to try to walk around the base and everybody's like, oh, this guy. Because when I said I was leaving, everybody turned on me. Everybody turned on
Vinny,
me.
when you were in the military, you know how it works when you first enlist. You just walk down the line of doctors and they
give you a vaccine.
Injection for everything under the sun.
Yeah.
So for them to finally question, hey, what's in this one thing you want to give us? That's a little weird.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's a huge problem because you can't have people questioning what's in them.
Yeah.
Everyone who's taken every other shot they've offered them.
Yeah, I agree.
It's crazy too because like you said, the people that wouldn't be getting it are the ones who they want to out of the military. And if the military is not even willing to stand up, that's terrifying for things of that nature. Could you imagine if it's they're supposed to be defending the people, right?
Yeah.
And no, it's actually comply or we're gonna rip your shoulder. And that's honestly, I feel bad for the gentleman 100%. but it could escalate to a lot worse than just that. You know what I mean?
For sure. And you nailed it. Like, these guys are fighting for the freedom of the country. You're not letting him be free.
Yeah.
Freedom.
I want a freedom of choice. My body, my choice. Can I not have a say in it?
And I actually know someone who's 24 years old, had recently in December, November, had a heart attack. And literally my first, very young, very traumatizing time, I asked, my first response was like, did you get the vaccine? Because like, although he may have had heart conditions like when he was younger, you just were vaccinated not too long ago, and this has been something that has been.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
so
happening.
I'm like 24 years old.
Yeah, that's freak.
That's insane.
Yeah, look at LeBron James, Bronny, LeBron James' son, 18 years old, collapsed. Like, that doesn't happen a lot.
Man, think about how bad it must be for you if people could literally be crackheads for 50 years and not have a heart attack. But this thing is giving them a heart attack in 1 year.
To Hunter Biden.
Yeah,
Totally
exactly.
His heart is fine. He's
900% increase in heart failures.
973%. That's bananas. And you know what? And guys, I have one more clip. This is a couple days ago. Senator Schmidt from Missouri, he's grilling the Secretary of the Navy, who says he has no regrets about firing the thousands of service members who refused to take the jizab. Kelly, can you please play this clip?
You believe
that you want all the members of your team to feel like they're included?
Well, I have a question. Do you believe that you were an ally for the 1,878 soldiers who were fired, or the 3,746 Marines who were fired for not taking the COVID shot? Were you an ally for them?
Sir, I followed the laws. They disobeyed
Or did
the
they
law.
feel included?
They disobeyed a law.
They were fired.
They were fired because they disobeyed
Do you
the
regret
law.
that? Do you regret that?
Currently existed. I have no regrets.
You have
whatsoever.
recruitment challenges.
No
Senator?
You refuse to admit the DEI is a part of this. You're firing qualified people who are well trained, and you sit here so smugly to act like none of that has any impact on the readiness of our Navy.
Senator, we recontacted 3,500 of the 4,800 people who were fired.
What?
You know how many actually decided to come back to the Navy?
How many?
Two.
Shocker.
Yeah. Seriously.
They receive from their government.
Shocker. So there you have it. It's unbelievable. Like, how they're treating these people. Like, isn't
The
it?
smugness. Like, you know how many people wanted to come back?
Yeah.
Two. No shit.
No shit. Why would, like, how stupid does that guy sound?
Oh my God.
Like, why would you want to come back?
And they
Are you
think
not-
these are the same people that they want to say, like, everyone looks to government to solve all their problems. They don't even stand up for the people who put their lives on the line to fight for us.
Nope.
But you think that you want to look to the government to solve all of our problems? Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, great. That's a great point. Everybody's always like, government and government this. That's your government for
That's
you.
what they'll do to you.
1,000%.
You put your life on the line for them.
No, Reagan nailed it. He said the scariest words ever. I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Yeah. Rob, what do you think?
You look at the heart rate, the heart issues that athletes were having. It's not like, okay, clearly there's an obesity pandemic in the United States.
Epidemic.
I am clearly in that category.
You're not, it's an epidemic, but you're fine. I don't
Patient
care.
zero over here.
Okay, thank you, Connor, with his six-pack. But it's not like people like me were dropping because of heart issues. You're looking at athletes that are in top physical condition, and those people who were forced to have some type of medical procedure done are also having heart issues. It makes you wonder. And you look at the uptick. Sometimes we look at like the Boeing issues, right? And you go, are more Boeing issues happening because Boeing is shitty and doesn't make good airplanes, or are more Boeing issues happening because we're paying more attention to that issue? Like when you buy a new car and then you're driving around, you see more of that car over and over and over again. Okay, well, that people were still buying that car without you owning it. You're just paying more attention to it. So you look at the heart issues and you go, were athletes always dropping because of heart issues? No. So all of a sudden there's an uptick in it after 2021, and you go, that's odd.
Yeah, no, the number. Like, listen, the numbers don't lie. It's a fact.
Yeah.
People are dying much more. Cancer is up. Heart problems are up. And by the way, and now the truth is starting to come out. And I'm waiting to see how much more they're going to try to silence and shut up and ban and deplatform people, because it's like, enough is enough. What the fuck are we talking about? Dr. Fauci lied. Fauci lied. He just got caught again.
What's crazy is if this news had come out from, and this wasn't when you mentioned it earlier with the guest that we had on, the National Institute of Health's Principal Deputy Director Lawrence Tabak admitted to Congress that U.S. taxpayers funded gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology in China in the months and years before the COVID-19 pandemic. if that news had come out in 2020, 2021, even 2022, it'd be everywhere.
Yep.
It came out yesterday, and I didn't hear about it until you covered it today, and I read the news all day.
Wow.
So how, like, the fact that this is not bigger news and not a bigger story tells you that there is a massive cover-up that even involves our own mainstream media to suppress the truth about this pandemic, the virus, its origins, the creation of it, the release of it, and any medical procedures that resulted because of it.
So, Brandon, Dr. Fauci lied to Congress. I have the videos. I'm going to do a video on it myself.
Yep.
He said the NIH did not do this gain of function research at the Wuhan lab. And then yesterday they said, the guy from NIH, his own words, not mine, yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. What happens to Fauci?
Probably nothing based on everything we've seen in the past. But yeah, lock it up, take it to the bank. He lied. Even we've had the CIA in the past say that there's a drastic cover up on that. So I mean, it couldn't be more blatant.
And guess what? For everybody out there, your tax dollars, our tax dollars, are paying right now. Dr. Fauci has Secret Service protection 24 hours a day because he knows that we all know this all shit's going to start coming out. He needs a protection. By the way, he put the poison in us, and we have to protect his ass. Meanwhile, RFK can't even get Secret Service protection, and they killed his father and his uncle.
It's insane.
It's like we always say, dude, like if you are with the cabal, you know, you have the full support of them, the wind blowing at your back. If you're against them, then you have the wind blowing against you. So it couldn't be more blatant.
And not to mention Dr. Fauci, wasn't he the highest paid government employee as well?
Yeah.
So he has security.
He
also was the highest paid. And also when it goes to, like what Rob was talking about, the pandemic, we can't. Where are the people within the military leaders that are going to speak up to it?
Whistleblowers, so to speak.
Yeah, because
they're in jail cells right now.
We're years past it, but like this literally stopped the world. Like we cannot let this go. Like literally, I know Patrick just had an event at PHP, and Mario was telling me when they were down there, 50% of the businesses are gone from there.
Weird.
They said the streets at one point were like busy and you couldn't just walk around. It's like silence.
They did on purpose.
So like we can't just let this go.
No. I love your passion. I hope so because we're talking about it. But think about it, Rob. He's getting surprised. He didn't even hear about it till right now.
Yeah.
This should be late breaking. Dr. Fauci lied. It should be placed everywhere.
And why are we hearing about Trump with Stormy Daniels every day and stuff like this? You know,
exactly. Another one. Ben Affleck is arguing with J-Lo.
Oh my God.
I don't give a shit.
Animals are gay.
Yeah, I got to move on to the next topic. Brandon, speaking of the WHO, the WHO pandemic agreement, and talk to us about it.
Yeah, so this has been another thing that's been somewhat suppressed in the news lately. But if you go back all the way till 2021, this is something that the WHO's been trying to accomplish. So basically, they're trying to get the members of the WHO to agree to this treaty where they basically let the WHO be a governing body during times of a pandemic. So it's called the World Health Organization Pandemic Treaty. And if you could play this video, there's been some hiccups on the way there. They keep trying to rewrite it because they haven't gotten the vote passed, but it's coming up at the end of this month that they're going to vote on and try and get it passed.
Oh, God. And for 2 weeks they're meeting.
Yeah, they've been discussing it, debating it for 2 weeks. This is from Tedros last year, and he's trying to quell people's concerns about it.
Okay, let's hear it.
We continue to see misinformation on social media and in mainstream media about the pandemic accord that countries are now negotiating. The claim that the accord will cede power to WHO is quite simply false. It's fake news. Countries will decide what the accord says, and countries alone. And countries will implement the accord in line with their own national laws. No country will cede any sovereignty to WHO. If any politician, business person, or anyone at all is confused about what the pandemic accord is and isn't, we would be more than happy to discuss it and explain.
And by the way, what I heard is they have the power, that's what they're fighting for, to say that a pandemic is a pandemic whenever and shut down the entire world.
Yeah, and so then we agree to this, then they get to say like how we handle the pandemic, like what type of lockdown procedures we have, like what type of jab procedures we have, and the allocation of resources from one country to another. So basically they become like the world government in a situation of a pandemic. I mean, like how convenient. But silently under the radar, certain Congress people from other countries like Australia, it shows there's like I think 14 people from Australia signed on saying not to be a part of this.
Well, Australia's I mean, they're done.
Yeah, I know it's a lost cause. I'm sure they're gonna get on board with it. I hope the U.S. Congress doesn't vote for it because we still have a Republican majority, but probably places like Canada and all the other far left lost places.
Oh, communism! What do you mean? They're gonna sign that shit. Too sweet.
But so yeah, I mean, the WHO is part of the United Nations, so I mean, they're definitely not to be trusted, and we cannot give them more power than they had in the last one because we weren't even in this treaty during COVID, and we still were listening to them for some reason for a lot of things.
And didn't Trump try to get us not to go with the WHO?
Yeah, I believe he tried to untangle us from them.
Try to withdraw us from them.
Yeah, and you know who also opposed this treaty was the Slovakian Prime Minister,
Weird.
Robert Fico, who was, there was an assassination attempt on his life earlier this week. He survived it, but he's currently in critical condition in a hospital. So he gets shot the same week that this treaty is getting proposed, but he was also against it. A vocal advocate, they call him Slovenia's Donald Trump.
Oh, wow.
You look at everybody around the world who's been called the Trump of whatever other country. I was just watching a montage that somebody put together of all these people, starting with Shinzo Abe in Japan.
Yeah.
There have been either successful or attempted assassinations on the bulk of these people. Like,
Really?
There's a media headline of, okay, this guy is like the Donald Trump of this country. And then the next headline, somebody tried to shoot him. Because remember, Abe was assassinated not too long ago. And just like with FICO the other day, and there have been all sorts of people in between where anyone who opposes the world narrative about, the United Nations, funding Ukraine, WEF, all these things, like suddenly, I guess we got to take him out. A lone wolf went after him and took him out.
It's always a lone wolf, right?
Always a lone wolf.
It's always a lone wolf.
Who somehow happens to have all sorts of big liberal connections around the world. But
Rob, so
whatever.
did he say anything about he said something about the WHO. Did he talk about the WEF?
I don't know. Honestly, the only reason my buddy and I were talking about this assassination attempt, and he said, is this the beginning of World War III? Could this be our Franz Ferdinand moment? Ooh. And I honestly didn't know much about Slovakian politics.
Yeah.
Shame on me. So I've been doing my research, but the one thing that did stand out was his opposition to what Brandon spoke about, the WHO pandemic treaty. I'd have to look further into it. He is not nearly as outspoken as other people like Javier Milei, who you see, like that guy said, like from him to still be alive, I go, how?
Yeah.
Which I'm grateful that he is and believe this is not like some kind of threat, but you see the guy taking passenger flights with like, clearly the people, and what scares me, I talked about this with my buddy today, was it's not Klaus Schwab and George Soros who are the people that actually scare him. It's the people who control those people who you don't know. Yeah. Like, there are people that those dudes answer to. And the fact that Javier Milei can get on a passenger jet and those people think nothing. Milei. And those people think nothing of, downing an airliner with a bunch of innocent people on it just to get to him. The guy's in the middle of, these, like, he'll be in a protest and he's waving around those chainsaws and he's around all these people in guard. And I'm like, how is that guy still not taken out? Because he is clearly a threat to the establishment. And the question becomes, who is the establishment? Who answers? Who is the one that's pulling the strings of Klaus Schwab, George Soros? Like, who controls the WEF?
Could it be the devil?
Well,
Could it be Satan himself?
Like the degree to which I've found for who pulls the strings, so it goes like the UN sets a lot of the law for international policy, and then the donors, or no, the NGOs like set the stage for the UN, and then the donors, the biggest donors, set the stage for the NGOs. But we don't know who those donors are because they could donate anonymously to the NGOs.
The Clinton Foundation. I'm just gonna guess. Allegedly, my guess would be the Clinton. It's weird how these guys come into office broke and then, or not broke. I'm sorry. They come into office making minimal money. They do well, $400,000 a year for your salary as president. Then you leave, and all of a sudden you create these global foundations like the Bill Clinton, the Bill and Hillary Clinton Foundation, that's worth hundreds, if not billions of dollars. Weird.
Yeah.
And you have
what are they actually achieving with those foundations? Do we ever
Getting
find out
donations.
what their initiative is?
Getting rich.
They fixed Haiti, guys. Come on, give them credit.
And they get donations from foreign entities and foreign countries, and then as soon as they don't get into office, that money just tends to fizzle out because they don't have the power and they don't have the influence that they would.
Which is why they have to stay in power and continue that influence, so they can continue to make that money from those foreign interests.
Right, and I'm curious. You mentioned, is it even being talked about that this is possibility in the U.S.?
Yeah.
That's insanity.
That
like that goes against everything we stand for, from a constitution, from a local government to controlling that. Like, how is that even
and you have
being
no saying,
voiced?
and you have no saying.
Well,
Like,
so at this point, could they call the bird flu a pandemic
Yeah,
and then
of
shut
course.
down
Exactly.
the entire
Right.
United States prior to November?
And it's like Brandon
Exactly.
mentioned, we weren't under the authority of the WHO during COVID either, but we did everything the WHO
Yeah,
told us.
of course.
Because even though we're not officially part of it, we have all the people in power who listen to them. We were told, oh, trust the science. You got to follow whatever the experts say. So we just followed them, even though we don't technically have to. And then at the same time, look at all the private businesses that were like social distancing and nobody's allowed in here without a mask. The government wasn't making them do that. They all just decided from the top down, yeah, you know what? All of our customers should wear masks.
But
because these people told them to.
I honestly think that's okay. If you own a private business and you want to make your customers do it, they can choose not to do it. But the fact is, if they're forcing the business owners to do it, because I know a lot of business owners on the flip side would not do that. Like I remember I was in Illinois at the time. God bless that. Yeah, thank God I'm no longer there. And I had one yoga studio. I won't even say their name because they stayed open during that. They were small enough, but they were like, no, if we shut down, there's no way we're going to reopen again. And so, I mean, I would go there because that was the only place I could actually go work out because they shut it down. However, they should have the choice to stay open. And if someone wants to make you wear a mask, I just wouldn't go there. But the fact that we're even considering that, I mean, I believe in not the WHO, the Constitution. And the Constitution says otherwise, we wouldn't listen to a global entity to tell us how we can run our businesses.
and is it
or
just
our
me
life.
or every single person that wants to harm us, lock us down, destroy humanity, they all have accents like that piece of shit, like Klaus, like all these guys that want to ruin everything, they all have an accent.
Yeah, you never hear them come out with like that deep Southern twang. Like, we're gonna take
hey,
over
you
the
know what,
globe.
everybody? We're gonna put on masks. Guess what? Bird flu's coming. They're gonna kill cows. They're gonna kill you. No. It's always like we have to kill. Like I don't trust Klaus Schwab. I don't trust.
Tedros,
Boutros, whatever the hell his name is.
Boutros Ghali, all of them.
Yeah, Boutros. It just gets me sick. But
it's so audacious. It's like a step even worse than we elect our officials, and then they try to tell us to do an overstep. But it's like to listen to unelected officials around the world. That's audacious and unthinkable.
yeah, who the hell told him that I didn't pick that guy to be in charge of
Never
shit?
thought Bill Gates to be in charge of viruses or farmland or geoengineering mosquitoes.
Yeah. Not
Like,
me.
So all of a sudden, the guy was good at making windows. Like, there's a lot of people that can get on Microsoft Word. Great, okay, that's your expertise. But all of a sudden, he became a specialist in infectious disease. The nerd was making computers in his garage. Okay, fantastic computers. Changed computing. What does that make you an expert in viruses?
Absolutely
for?
nothing.
Right.
That's like having Esdras make a new vaccine.
Or it's like, you know what, you guys need to get vaccinated because I go, whoa, okay,
Esdras came in and goes, all right, Esdras, we love him to death. He's our tech guy. If Esdras like, listen, I made these little, microscopic mosquitoes. I'm gonna just throw them in the office.
No, you should focus your time on fixing the printer. At 5,100 never works. If you get that, maybe you can fuck with mosquitoes, but get that right first.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. All right, Brandon, thank you so much, bro. So by the way, and keep on lookout because they're gonna pass it, and we're all gonna be sleeping, and they're gonna be like, the next pandemic's gonna hit, and they're already gonna have the orders in. None of us are gonna know what happened. But anyway.